This is Omar Regan, and you're listening to Y Factor.
The Y Factor, an amazing radio station. If you're not listening to the Y Factor, you're probably not doing much.
I think the likes of Alan Jones and Ray Hadley are sort of keeping a close eye on you guys.
This is the segment to listen to. There's nothing better than this. It beats anything else.
Yeah, man, if you don't listen to the Y Factor, you are a bloody fool.
Y Factor Radio, the best radio station in Australia.
Each poem has its own character, it's its own engagement. So like each poem is like a person.
If you could have a dinner date at the moment with anyone in the world, who would it be?
We'll rephrase it in a halal context. Who would you invite to a barbecue to your house?
To a barbecue. Yeah, Lateef, I don't know, man. That's a hard question.
You can say Kim Kardashian in the niqab, it's alright.
Kim in the niqab, call me.
Okay, your favorite joke of all time.
There was a guy
and it can be lame.
Okay, it's gonna be lame for sure. All right, so there's a guy walking home from work, and he was in a bit of trouble with his wife, right? So he says that, I want to get something for my wife, like a gift. And he's like, man, I don't know what to get. So he's walking home, and then he sees this big roll of cheese coming down the hill, like a big roll, right? So he says she loves cheese. This is what I'm gonna get. So he picks up the wheel of cheese, right? And he brings it home. He puts it on the table, says, hey, honey, I'm home, and I got you some cheese, some nacho cheese. She said, this isn't nacho cheese. This is blue cheese, or cheddar cheese. He says, no, it's nacho cheese. She says, no, it's cheddar cheese. He says, nacho cheese. He said, no, it's cheddar cheese. She says, why do you think this is nacho cheese? He said, because when it came down the hill and I picked it up, there was a guy at the top of the hill saying, that's not your cheese. That's not your cheese. Generate and express love. Be kind to people. Be nice to people. Because mostly everyone is living a hard life, in the secret of their hearts when they lay down that bed at night. A lot of people are sad. A lot of people are lonely. A lot of people have anxiety. And if you're just nice, most people, they just want to be treated nicely.
We had a crazy Christian pastor in Florida posture idiotically in terms of burning a copy of the Holy Quran, thinking that by that he had gained some sort of incredible victory. That is extremely idiotic, and once again someone who is an extremist and someone who furthers hatred and division and fear and suspicion. Those people we disavow, those people we disown, those acts we disown and disavow as a human race, not just as Muslims, not just as Christians, not just as Jews, but as a human race. The fact that those revolutions which generations of political parties, of intellectuals, of freedom fighters couldn't achieve, those youngsters, through their know-how of how to utilize and exploit to the full modern media tools, they managed to mobilize millions of people and get them to congregate on a particular hour, in a particular day, in a particular fashion, organize hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of people, and basically to withstand the kind of brutality that they came under from time to time from authorities and forces and the such. So the kind of movement that was created by the youngsters and their engagement with the media has actually proven how vital and important this is.
It's no secret that a lot of Muslim youth have boyfriend, girlfriends, even brothers with beards and sisters with hijabs. There's boyfriend, girlfriend relationships going on in society right now, but never once we hear a khutbah about it. We turn a blind eye to it. If I got a chance to give a khutbah, I would give a topic only about boyfriend, girlfriend, and be straight up and be direct like I am in my videos. If I'm talking to older people, I'll talk to them about the reality of their kids. Stuff that they have, they're just living the fantasy world that, my daughter, she's not going to be attracted to any male until she's 30 years old and she has her 2 degrees. Or my son, he'll wait and, you guys are living in fantasy world.
Is poking on Facebook haram?
That you need to ask the Shaykh. I don't poke anyone, no one.
So you won't give a Facebook fatwa live on
I will not give a Facebook fatwa. People keep poking me, so I don't know what's going on. But Facebook sent me a message saying they have too many friends. Which says,
really?
I've maxed out on friends too. I can't add anyone.
Is there actually a limit to how many friends you can have?
Can you ever have 2 little friends, like one friend and then you have to be deactivated?
Yeah, I say, okay, you know what? You're too lonely. You need to move away. They
then Baba Ali can donate some friends.
I have plenty too.
And have you tried Vegemite yet?
Vegemite, no, I have not.
Have you heard about it?
No, I have not. Is that the veggie chips?
No.
It's actually a black Australian spread you put on toast or bread.
Some people liken it to tar.
Tar? Does it taste like tar?
It looks like tar.
Does it stop the roof from leaking on the?
I think it's kind of made of yeast.
Our last international guest said it should be made haram. So.
Regan, yeah.
We are people of extremes for some reason. oh brother, I became a Muslim because of you, brother. If it wasn't for you, it's like, hey, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, people, if you did something wrong, astaghfirullah, sister, how could you do this? You're ruling the ummah. You're the one that's going to be leading us all to Jahannam. And you say, really? You know, people are extremes both ways.
Yeah.
If you are surely doing it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the criticism shouldn't really matter. If you want to give advice to people, also use hikmah.
That's
the
right.
Prophet ﷺ was the best of advisors and the best of people for examples, and he was very, 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 very wise in the way in which he would advise people. So I advise brothers and sisters to try and do the same. And ultimately, you know, people are people. Like, nobody's perfect. Everyone's going to make a mistake, but really and truly, it's a matter of trying your best and always working to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That we have moved away from the hero into the world of the celebrity. People looked up to heroes in the past, whether they were doctors or teachers or surgeons or
because of their merits,
activists. Yeah, and they were obscure. That's the thing about them. They were obscure. They didn't have like press agents to make themselves famous. Like in LA, you have a cemetery that has the remains of 135 stars and founders of Hollywood. But the idea behind it is called Hollywood Forever. So the idea is that you don't never forget the celebrities, and as soon as you go to a crematorium, a grave of any one of them, you can play their tracks.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And you can watch a part of the movie that they starred in. I do believe, however, that if we wear the lenses of ideals and not images, there's a lot we can find.
Because typically, art is looked at by the Muslim community as something that it's like an either-or fallacy. Either you do Islam or you do art. And so I felt that the best way for me to challenge that was to actually embody both myself. Islam encourages art. It's historically it has celebrated art, and it's not something it's not the antithesis to Islam. It's not an either-or dichotomy. You can be an artist and you can be an upright Muslim. They're one and the same.
But what they lack is really a knowledge of how properly to apply their knowledge to the reality of the outside world. So maybe that's a model that could be useful and push the Australian Muslim community onto still greater heights, inshallah. It's certainly working very well for us. I think the message has to be trust in Allah, love His creation, be grateful for the many blessings which we have, be optimistic about Allah's intentions towards the Ummah, and Allah is the master of history, and however worried we might be about so many things that are happening in our lives, in our relationships, our communities, the Muslim world has the unjust in His sight, and inshallah the victory will always be for the believers in the long term.
You start seeing all this stuff after September 11th. I start seeing all this stuff about the extremists and the terrorists and all this stuff, and you know, none of which represented what I knew about being Muslim. And so I wanted to create a story that was a little more accurate to what it meant to be a Muslim person, and not a story that said all Muslims are perfect, because that's not the case, but a story that showed Muslims as human beings, because that's something we rarely ever see in the media or films.
Assalamu alaikum, man. This is Omar Regan, a.k.a. Chris. Listen to the Y Factor. Peace out, man. Turn it up. Hurry up, man. We got news. Assalamu alaikum. Good night, mate. And if Chris Tucker, he'll be like, hey, man, hey, assalamu alaikum to all my Aussie people. Love everybody. Y Factor. Ciao. I just want everybody to know I love you, Aussies.